Yes, everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Tactical Preview, Manchester United against Watford. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game as permanent manager in charge. Ole's at the wheel, ladies and gentlemen, officially and permanently at the wheel. It was only a 3-year contract, 27 years short of what we actually wanted. And as you may have noticed in the little opening credits that we've got there, this channel is now supported and sponsored by BetBull. We've got some sign-up offers for you, which we'll get to in a little bit of a while. But they're going to be with us for the whole of August and, if all April, and if all goes to plan, then hopefully for the whole of next season as well. So big up to BetBull, and we're going to be talking and running through some bets a little bit later on in the show, but this is a tactical preview, so let's talk tactics. United have lost 2 on the bounce coming into this game, and we definitely needed a little bit of a lift coming into it, which is why I think that the timing of the Solskjaer announcement was pretty key for what United were trying to do, and just giving us that little bit of a lift going into this game. A little bit similar to what we saw with the Cardiff game, where a little bit down in the dumps. Let's get a nice fat announcement in there and give everyone a bit of a boost. A lot of players have been rested, shall we say, on international duty, but there's also been some serious injuries that have been protected and looked after and worked on during the international period as well. So we hope to see a fully refreshed Manchester United. Now we're coming up against Watford, who are with Wolves coming, who we play on Tuesday. Sort of the best of the rest outside the top 6. They currently sit in 8th. They are just 1 point, I believe, off Wolves, who sit in 7th, 15 points behind United. They've only kept 7 clean sheets so far this season, which is exactly the same as United, and I think that's something that tells you that there's going to be goals in this game. I think that's an absolute given that there's going to be goals in this game. They like to play on the counter, and United like to play on the counter. So how the hell does that work when 2 teams that like to play on the counter with each other work? Well, United are actually a lot better in possession and being oppressive in possession than we like to give ourselves credit for. It's only the Wolves game's going to play on people's mind, but the Wolves are set up to deal with people and sit in that low block and just give you the ball and go, figure it out, stupid. And we wasn't able to figure it out. I am looking forward on Tuesday night to finding out what Solskjaer and Mike Phelan have learned about that as we hopefully go and turn them over this time around when we go to Molyneux. Well, let's talk about Watford then. Key players for Watford. I do like the fact that they play a 4-4-2. You know me, you know that I'm a big fan of those 2 striker systems. It's what I want to see both teams playing tomorrow afternoon. And I think that they'll come in that. Andre Gray is going to sit just off Troy Deeney, who is their big traditional target man. This is like a throwback formation that they like to use. Deulofeu and Pereira, they're looking for those to find the space and get wide and get into those areas behind the defence. And they use those 2 on the counter-attack effectively, and that's something that they're absolutely devastating at, but they can be got at, and there's a reason that they've only kept 7 clean sheets, is because they are able to concede goals, and because they can concede goals, United can get after them. The starting 11 that I would go for with United, and the formation that I would go for United, is going to be the 4-4-2 diamond, and this is the formation this is the lineup, sorry, that I would like to see us go with, and that would be Big Dave in net. No shocks there for anybody. Fitness-wise, there's a lot of question marks. Ashley Young and Luke Shaw, probably what Ollie sees as his first choice at the moment. If Shaw, who it seems is a genuine injury concern for us, isn't available, I do expect it to be Young switched over to the left and Delot put in on the right. In the centre, Chris Smalling and Lindelof seems to be his preferred partnership going forward. I do think we can upgrade that in the summer, but for now, that's what we're rolling with, and it's doing okay. Chris Smalling should do okay against somebody like Troy Deeney, because they're both, let's be honest, they're both not top-level Premier League performers. They're both that little scrappier, maybe lower half Premier League, maybe even Championship sort of level player, and they'll have a proper old school Championship sort of tussle together. What we're looking for is for Lindelof to sit off them a little bit, not get drawn into it, because if Deeney goes up against Lindelof, we've got problems. Hopefully it's Chris Smalling that takes care of Deeney, and then Lindelof can sit off there and watch out for Gray, watch out for Deulofeu, watch out for Pereira, because they're going to cause us a lot of problems. Them on the counter attack, you would expect them to be pushing forward, and it was 1v1s that did us against Wolves, and I don't think it's 1v1s that'll do us against these. I think it's because they'll push numbers forward when they counter-attack. So Matic's role in the number 6 area is very important to us stopping those counter-attacks, because you would expect both fullbacks to be well advanced into the opposition half in this game, especially with it being at Old Trafford. The rest of the midfield is pretty much our first choice midfield for me at the moment, and that's Paul Pogba and Ander Herrera, as well as Jesse Lingard, again if he's available and fit for selection. He seems to be one that has overcome it, so hopefully he can now get in the mixer as well. The thing that I would like to see here in this formation that we didn't see at all against Wolves is the play from Marshall and Marcus has to be split. They have to patrol this right-hand side and they have to patrol the left-hand side. Instead of Marshall just staying on the left touchline like he was a winger under Van Gaal still, and Marcus having to come over to the left-hand side. One thing United really have to watch for, because we favour that left-hand side so much, is getting clogged up in there. And when a team starts to clog us up in there, they make it very hard for us to progress going down that side. So we do need to see somebody take ownership and get into this space on the right hand side. Ander Herrera, Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rashford, Ashley Young, get into this right hand side channel of the pitch, spread the play, and it makes it easier for the guys in the middle to go and make things happen. That's the starting 11 that I am going for. My bets that I'm going to go for this week, as I said, brought to you by the top gents and ladies at BetBull, is as follows. So you will get £100 in a deposit bonus if you sign up using the link below. Up to £100 deposit bonus. It's a minimum of £20, and then you'll get a load of social bets as well. The terms and conditions are in the description below, but this is the bet that I am going to be going for this week. So I'm going to be going with, in fact, before we get into that, this is where you can follow me over on the app. You see you've got a couple of hundred followers in there already. Come and find me on the app. BetBull's all about social betting, and it's got loads of top features in there as well. So you can go into an Accolab like this, where you can actually decide what sort of stuff you want to throw in. Swipe right for the ones you want, swipe left for the ones that you don't. It's dead easy. They're just throwing up loads of different things for you there. They've got some top influencers that you can follow as well. You can go and check out a feed. It gives you suggestions for the sorts of bets that you want to put on, and this is my favourite part. They've got the top yielders, the top influencers, and the top winners, so you can actually see who's doing what sort of bets they're putting on, and find out whether you'd like to put similar sorts of bets on as well. Now, the ones that I'm going to be going for this week is obviously United and Watford. I think I would like to go for Anthony Marshall as an anytime goal scorer, and you can see all the different styles of markets that's on here. There's nearly 200 different bets that you can stick on for this game. I'm going to go with Anthony Marshall as anytime goal scorer, because I don't think the Watford defence likes a player that can run directly at them. You're not getting amazing odds on that, because I think Marshall's very likely to score in this game, considering it's probably him and Marcus, the only available fit ones that we've got. And I also think that there's going to be goals in this game, because we don't keep clean sheets, because they don't really keep clean sheets. I do think that there's going to be a hefty amount of goals in this game. So the other one that I am going for is going to be Manchester United to win 3-2, and now you do get pretty good odds on that, 20-1. So that's what I would like to go for, and I'm going to put them on as two single bets. Just bang a fiver on them there each if you fancy either of those, or you want to come and sign up on BetBull for supporting the channel. Then there's some really good offers as well, and that is you can get up to £100 in free bets to bet on some of the social people that you need to follow on there, some of the top yielders, some of the top influencers. So if you would like to come and get in the mix, all the details are in the description below. Remember to only bet what you can afford, when the fun stops, and all that good stuff, 18 and over. And that is what I am going for in terms of betting this week. If you want to get your questions in, we'll start answering some of the questions. I'm going to head over to the Patreon group and see what everybody is saying over there. Let's see what all the questions are from the lads today. Sean says, do you think the players will play like Ollie's first game now that they know they've got the security of a full-time manager? Also, do I think we will see new contracts for Herrera and De Gea? I think one of the reasons to get this done before it gets to the summer is to try and get some of those players, Pogba included, signed up to long-term deals, so we know where we stand going forward in the summer. And yeah, I do expect there's a little bit of a lift with the players, because clearly there was a little bit of, 2 games defeated on the bounce, fairly poor performance in the Wolves game, although it was a pretty decent performance in the Arsenal game. We was unlucky to come away with that, not winning. I do think we expect to see a little bit of a lift and some fight from the players in this one, I think. Which players this from Nebby, this is a good question. Which players will struggle to stay at United now that Ollie is at the wheel? Trying to think of players that haven't featured, and I think the only one that makes a lot of sense is Sanchez. I think Sanchez and to a certain degree, I think Juan Mata doesn't necessarily fit this style of play unless you bring him inside and play him as a number 8. But that would be the two I would say. I think they're probably going to struggle to be starting on a regular basis and fitting the system. Ahmed says, are the last 2 results considered a blip, or do you think that's just one of those things that happens every once in a while? Yeah, unfortunately it was back-to-back. I mean, Wolves did a great tactical number on us and we was unlucky in the Arsenal game. When you put the results just on paper, you go, yeah, that wasn't good. But you also look at the injuries that we're going through at the moment, and we was unlucky to have so many injuries to key players in a certain area. It highlights the areas that we need reinforcements in the squad for definite. What do I think the issue with Herrera's contract? Is it wages? No, I think it's a case of Ander Herrera wants to be considered, like, for his entire career he's sort of been this sort of rotation player, hasn't he? And I think he wants to be and deserves to be considered as a first choice player. I think if he gets considered as a first choice player, you get a lot out of that guy. This is going to be his last big deal, so it's the last time for him to really go and say, right, I want to go and do whatever I want to do with my career. He might want to go back to Spain just for personal reasons and finish his career over there. He might want to stay here if he thinks that we've got a chance of winning the league. I think it's more than just money at this stage. I think it's deeper and it's more complex than that. Clemens says 30 minutes for Mason. Yeah, do you know what? I actually would expect somebody like Mason, as long as he isn't ill, on the bench this week. And if we're comfortable in the game, or given the PSG results, even if we're not comfortable in the game, I would like to see him flung in as well. Can I see us finding a buyer for Sanchez in the summer? It might be a case of that it's someone that we're already dealing with, or it might be a case of we end up having to pay a percentage of his wages, because I don't think there's many clubs in world football that are able to just deal with that fat wage bill every single month. It's crazy, isn't it? I believe Ajax pay $1 million a year, $1 million a week in wages, and we're paying 35% of that to this guy, and that's what their entire squad's on collectively. In my opinion, could Ollie afford not signing a world-class centre-back if he strengthens other positions? Will Ollie spring any surprises in his lineup next 2 games, or will it be the first choice 11 most expect? No, I think it would be pretty straightforward 11s. Whoever's fit, I think, is likely to play. Then we've got an 8-day rest ahead of the Barcelona game. Can we afford not to sign a world-class centre-back? No, I think we definitely need to sign a world-class centre-back. If we're talking about challenging for the title, we absolutely need to sign a world-class centre-back. Does that mean we have to spend 175 million on a centre-back? No, because I think 25 million for Alderweireld's a complete tap-in and almost a free transfer. We should definitely be going for that. Could Doucouré be an answer as a potential Matic replacement? Good player. Haven't really looked into it with any sort of critical eye to really analyse him, but it's not a bad option. It's probably worth looking into deeper. Thames, I love Herrera so much, but if keeping him meant we don't get a new centre mid, would you consider letting him go? It depends on who it is, doesn't it? There seems to be some talk swirling around somebody like an Ndombele. I don't know if that's because I'm looking for it, because I want that to happen. If it was like, look, you can't have Ndombele unless Herrera goes, you go on then. Alex, Ollie said, complacent players don't last at this club. So which 5 players do you think will be first to the sold now he's firmly at the wheel? Valencia, Sanchez, Pereira, Mata. Not that I think Mata's complacent, but I've just, and Jones. There's my 5. Gordon, do I think Ollie's going to persevere with playing the low right wing when he has a full squad again? Would it be better to give Chong an opportunity, especially against Watford, who like the 4-2-2? Feels if we need to address the right side as much as we can. What we've got, as teams know, we rely so heavily on our left. Yeah, you're right. We've got to do something about the balance. And I think a lot of the balance could be dictated to by the front 2. If the front 2 start more centrally and more over to the right-hand side, then naturally the rest of the team's going to start to point towards them, in my opinion. Or maybe you swap Pogba to the right-hand side and just switch that up a little bit, because if he's in that right-hand channel, he's probably going to play in that right-hand channel a little bit more. When he's in the left-hand channel and everything starts to go through him because he is our best player, and maybe we limit ourselves a little bit because of that. Is it obvious to play Chris Smalling to thwart the threat of Troy Deeney? Yes. Raz, if we can sell Sanchez, Rojo, of Darmian, of course, I even forgot even he existed. I don't even know if Darmian knows that he's a United player at the moment. Although Jones would be likely to sign a new contract, I think we pretty much got rid of most of the deadwood. Only Ashley Young, in my opinion, the last proper deadwood, but he can do a decent job as a backup. Can he though? Can he though? We're so poor in those areas that we think that that's someone doing a good job. Slightly off topic, but I've just applied and paid for 2 deposits on season 6. Any advice on the process? No. I have no idea what the process ends up like. My dad deals with it, so. Joey, what's my response to people who say Ollie isn't good enough tactical, and we've only been good because he let the players play free? You need to go and look up at what Ollie did previously at Mulder and say he changed his tactics quite frequently, and he's a definite student of the game. And even Lou Van Gaal, just playing wrong. Solskjaer plays football a totally different style to Jose. Just because you can't just broad stroke something and go, oh, they play on the counter. Like Real Madrid just won 3 back-to-back Champions Leagues by playing on the counter. Did they play exactly the same way Cardiff do under Warnock? No, they did bollocks. Mental, absolutely mental. Let's have a look. Considering spring is around the corner, when is Phelan going to start wearing shorts? Someone sent me a picture of him wearing shorts the other day. I think the end is coming. Are we really going to embark on a fruitless quest for Varane? I hope not. It's definitely, that smells so badly of new contract talk, doesn't it? So badly. What will happen first, Brexit or a Young putting a successful cross in? Probably Young putting a successful cross in because he tries 145 per game. So one of them will find someone. Donald, I feel like they will play similar to how Wolves did, sit deep and counter. What can we do differently to break them down and create chances? Well, they're narrower than Wolves. So as long as we spread ourselves wider and don't just clog up in that left-hand channel again, then we should be okay. I think it really relies on Marshall and Rashford moving over and being either side of the box and staying there, and I think we'll be okay. Lewis, teams are now constantly man-marking Pogba and taking him out of the game, but we know how teams set up against Barca to stop Messi and against Juve to stop Ronaldo, but they still perform. Given how good we know Pogba is, should we not be able to find a way around this? The difference is, look, it was like when United had Ronaldo. People used to always level that. It's amazing to think about. Never does it in the big games, Ronaldo. Do you know why? Because good opposition have gone, do not let him play. Do not let him get a yard. Anytime the ball either goes to him or comes off him, I want 3 people round him. So good opposition are able to do an effective job at shutting down your playmaker. The difference is, in those good teams, at the moment at Juventus, if you shut down Ronaldo, there's somebody else. Even someone like Benteke is going to go and do something. If you shut down Messi, they've still got good players. They've still got Suarez, even though he's not at the top of his game at the moment. They've still got Dembele. They've still got good players. United, when you shut Ronaldo down, we still had Tevez, we still had Scholes, we still had Ronaldo, Rooney. There's still good players in and around them, and that's what you need. You need a squad where you can shut somebody down. Like, look at City at the moment. People have shut down pretty effectively this season. Kevin De Bruyne. Has it affected City in the slightest? No, because they've got other players that can go and do some stuff. They've still got David Silva, they've still got Aguero, they've still got Sterling. So good teams require more good players, and then you can compensate for someone shutting down. Jack says, how many Young score tomorrow? About the same as you and me, mate. None. Also, stream, let's get 14 more Patreon so Stu has to lose his shit at FIFA. Them tiers need rewriting, but yes, we're only a couple away from 600 if you want to come and join the party. There's a little bit of inside information. There's all sorts of other shit going on as well in Patreon. If you'd like to find it, the link is in the description, and you can come and see what the crack is all about. Let's see some of the questions that we've got. Iana says, can Greenwood do a job tomorrow? Looks like he will feature. I think he'll be on the bench. Tina says, Rashford's work rate has been poor of late. Has it, or has he been mega injured? Go back and watch the last 4 weeks since Henderson absolutely clattered the guy going through him. His ankle's been knackered. You can't say his work rate's been poor. Marcus Rashford is defined by work rate. If he's not working hard, why do you think that is? Why do you think he pulled out of England international duty? He's injured. Jesus Christ. Adesh says we're poor at home because we don't have a controller midfielder. We need a controller in Herrera's position, don't I think, like Verratti. Yeah, do you know what? I would rock that one. I would rock that one, absolutely, in terms of, especially against Wolves last week. We didn't need Herrera and Matic. They sort of did the same job, but there was no one there controlling and dictating play, and that's what Michael Carrick was so good at. You hope Carrick can maybe influence that and go, we need a passer, really. We need a conductor. And I would agree. I would agree. Is the podcast on Patreon now? There is a weekly podcast on Patreon, and there's also a vlog and behind the scenes and all that sort of stuff. Starting 11 for tomorrow. Just rewind a video. Did it about 5 minutes ago. Any idea what's going on with the supposed director of football? I think there's some movement on it, to be honest. I definitely think there's some movement on it. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do a video on Paul Mitchell, highlighting some of the things that he's done well, because I think he's a standout candidate for the director of football job. Yes, I'll be doing a vlog as well tomorrow. Should we try Fred? Or we should try Fred, says Tarek, at centre midfield, defensive midfield. I think he's more of an all-action player. Joshua says Rashford is injured. Yeah, he is injured. He's proper injured. How much do I rate Declan Rice? I think people are getting a little bit carried away on him, but he is a good player. I don't think it's quite as hypeful as it needs to be, but you know. What do I think about Pjanic? Yeah, Pjanic, good player. There's a lot of good players. That's the problem, is we don't even have to look all around Europe. We've just got to look a little bit around the Premier League, and you can massively improve this United squad. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to subscribe if you're new around here. Definitely go and check out the sign-up offers from BetBull with the link in the description. You can get up to £100 in free bets. So come and join us doing that, and even just go and download it and come and follow me as a little bit of a thank you for the support that they're showing the channel. Thanks to you guys again for joining us. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with United review and a vlog on Sunday morning. See you in the next one. Laters.